You know, I think that sometimes people think that moving away from your hometown, particularly when you're from a small town, is like an accomplishment, but I kind of look at it the other way. I feel like a better accomplishment is to move home and make your community a better place to be. I grew up in Elida. My family still lives here. My in-laws live here. I was fortunate enough to marry my high school sweetheart, so it means that home is here. And it was a pretty easy decision when we were trying to find a place to live. We wanted to be home. Oh man, those kids, they're wonderful. I have 3 kids. They're 7, 4, and 2. They keep me busy, but in a really good way. I sometimes wonder what I did all day before I had them. But they're wonderful, good, sweet kids, I think. But they keep me busy. They're very active. I always joke that I have a really loud life. It's really loud at home. It's really loud at work, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. My kids are mostly my hobby. I mean, most of what I do revolves around them, but there is just one thing I kind of do for myself, and that's kind of more the fitness route. I started running in college just as kind of stress relief, and I'd like to pretend that it's all for physical. Yeah, I want to be strong and you want to be healthy, but really it's more for my mental health. I think that it's a good me time where it's just quiet. I don't run with music. It's just me, and I can kind of focus on nothing, which is great. I started with Northwest Dental in 2009, right out of dental school. It was my first job. I interviewed a lot of places, but I felt most comfortable there. It's a really good kind of family-centered environment. You can get a sense, at least I did, when I walked in the first time, of that everybody seemed to get along. It's a pretty laid-back, comfortable place. You know, for most people, going to the dentist is stressful. It's not their favorite place to be. I hear it 10 times a day. Oh, it's not my favorite place to be. But what we're trying to do is kind of change that culture and make people feel comfortable and make it not such an anxious experience. I think part of it is just treating people like you want to be treated. Very golden rule, very simple, but it's true. You know, we do a lot of the same procedures all day, every day, but for the patient, it might be their first time having something. The other thing is, for me, yes, the work is important, but it's really about the relationship you can form with people. I would much rather have a patient for a really long time that I get to know them. I'd much rather know something about them than just about their teeth. It's way more than that. And I think if you're comfortable with the person on both ends, it's just easier to work that way. When someone says to me something like, "That's the best experience I've ever had," it's like, oh, good, that's what we're trying to do. Or when they say, "Well, I thought that was going to hurt," or "I thought that was going to take longer," it just exceeds what their expectation is. I will say that sometimes for dentistry, the expectation is pretty low, but we're trying to outdo that.